Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi We are from the Bmmw section 1/2. Our lecturer is me, Rabah Hashim. So today we like to present our assignment, which is sorting algorithm. So the method that we use is a bubble sort. This method we use bubble sort according about the score. For the team introduction, we have four of good member that lead by Muhammad Asif bin Zulkifli, next is Muhammad Syafiq Izwan bin MD Akil, and me Nuzul Hakim bin Muhammad Rosli, and the last one is EJ Kumar, anak lelaki Vijaya Kumar. For the derivation algorithm, algorithm in mathematics and computer science, an algorithm is a sequence of well-defined the implementable instruction, typically to solve a class of problem or to perform a computation. Algorithms are always unambiguous and use a specification for performing calculation, data processing, method reasoning, and other tasks. As an effective method, an algorithm can be expressed within a finite amount of space and time and in a defined formal language or calculating a function. The method that we use is bubble sort. Bubble sort is a simpler sorting algorithm. This sorting algorithm is a comparison-based algorithm in which each pair of adjacent elements is compared and the elements are swapped. They are not in order. This algorithm is not suitable for large data set as its average and worst case complexity are of 4 n power of 2, when n is the number of items. Bubble sort, sometimes referred to as sinking sort, is a simple sorting algorithm that repeatedly steps through the list, compare adjacent elements, and swaps them if they are in the wrong order. This simple algorithm performs fully in real world use and is used primarily as an education tool. Primary advantage of the bubble sort is that it is popular and easy to implement. Furthermore, in the bubble sort, elements are swapped in place without using additional temporary storage. So the space requirement is at a minimum. The main disadvantage of the bubble sort is the fact that it does not deal well with a list containing a huge number of items. This is because the bubble sort requires n square processing step for every n number of elements we sort. As such, the bubble sort is mostly suitable for academic teaching, but not for real-life application. So next, I will give to one present about the difference between bubble sort and solution sort and insertion sort.
To Nuzul Hakim. Okay, next I will go to bubble sort versus insertion sort. Okay, for bubble sort, a simple sorting algorithm that repeatedly goes through the list, comparing adjacent pair and swapping them if they are in the wrong order. Uh, but in section sort, a simple sorting algorithm that would the final sort list by transferring one in at time. Okay. Next, check the neighboring element and swap them accordingly. But for insertion sort, transfer an element at a time partially sorted array. Okay, for thirdly, for the bubble sort, more number of swap, but for insertion sort, less number of swap. Okay, bubble sort is lower than insertion sort, and the insertion sort is twice as fast. Bubble sort. Okay, next. Uh, next is bubble sort versus selection sort. Okay, for bubble sort, a simple sorting algorithm that continuously step through the list and compare the adjacent pair sort. But selection sort, the sorting algorithm that take the smaller value considering ascending order in the list and move it the proper position in the array. Okay. Next is compare the adjacent element and swap accordingly. But for selection sort, select the minimum element from the unsorted subarray and place it at next position of the sorting subarray. Okay. For bubble sort, it less efficient, but for selection sort, it's more efficient. Uh, Bubble sort is slower, but it's very faster for selection sort. And lastly, bubble sort is used item exchanging, but for selection sort is used item selection. Okay. Next, I will go to I pass to Hasif.
Next, the bubble sort. The difference between the bubble sort and circuit sort, in terms of the time complexity, coding, and also performance. So, first, what's meant by the time complexity? So, the time complexity is the computational complexity that describes the amount of the computer time taken to run an. So, the time complexity for the bubble sort is slow, in place for a small data set. For the quick sort, the time complexity is faster, randomized, and in place for a large data set. So the between for the coding, bubble sort is more simple. Quick sort is more complex. Then for the performance, bubble sort is slower but iterative. The quick sort is faster and recursive. Next, step how to do a bubble sort. First one, we have to look at the first number in the list, and then we compare the current number is the next number. Then we identify is the next number smaller than the current number. If so, swap the two numbers around. Not just leave it there. For the number 4, we move to the next number along in the list and make it the current number. Then we repeat from the step number 2 till the last number in the list has been reached. Next, if any numbers were swapped, repeat again from the step 1. And then for the final step, if the end of the list is reached without any swap being made, then the list is ordered and the algorithm can stop. For the next presentation, I will pass to my friend Vijay Kumar for the C++ programming.
Good day, guys. First of all, I'd like to thank to my friend Hasib, and I would like to explain about the coding that we have done. In this coding, we have three files, which is header, main CPP, and CPP. First of all, I'd like to explain about the header file. Header file is defined as a personal list, and in this coding we have used include string. The reason that we use include string is because we have to use it when it comes to a string type data. And the max size of the data that we will use is maximum we can save thousand data, and the structure of a person record is in that structure there will be name, ID, age, and score. The name and the ID using string, and the age and the score is using integer. String is used to describe data which is in alphabet, while integer will describe data which is in numbers. And there is a class of personal list, and the private is the integers of size, while the public is uh, the personal list of void and bool search get record. That's all. Now we go to the main CPP. Okay, this is the main CPP. First, we have to notify that it will relate to the header file. Then second, we have include IOStream and include string because the data that we will save also got string and another is will got integers. Then we use void display menu. Why the use of void is they do not return the value after the function is executed. So this is the integers main. The person list is the my list. Integer choice, string name ID, integers age, and integer score. The CR for this is choice. It will tough to understand, but later I will show how it's work in the display. Hmm. While there is choice is equals to 5. This means the choice there are 5 choices. Case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4, and default. Default is the last choice. For choice 1, there will be add person, username, and for the choice 2 is to display person. For choice 3 is just search person, and for choice 4 is sort the data that we save. And for 5 is invalid choice or exit. As you can see, this is the void display menu. That this will be our output when we inside the data. It will start with welcome to Pak Karim Gaming Resort at the middle, and there will be a line, double line, and under the line there will be option, and under the option there will be a double line again, and then we will have the 5 choices. The choices will start with number 1, which is added username. Number 2, display the person record. Number 3 is search person. Number 4 is sort person by score. And number 5 is exit. Now we'll see the last CPP file. This is the second CPP file. As I mentioned before we start the coding, we have to relate it with the header file. So this is related. So there is include person list header. Then we add the main part of the coding, which is include IOStream and include string. Then there is a person list. Person list size is equals to 0. So in the header file, as I mentioned, there is 1,000 data that we can save. So from the 1,000 data, it will start with the numbers, the size 0. Void person list equals to display. In the display, if the data is equals to 0, the output will show empty list. Or uh, if uh, if we want to save the data, for example, the record will be username, gaming ID, age, and score. This is a type of a bubble sort. And this is the bool person list search. Bool mean a boolean value. It means if it is used to show that if the data is true or false. For example, if the size equals to 0, the cout will be empty list, or else bool, if the bool if found equals to false, while the index of the data is small to size. Excuse me. And now this is our output. A white person list get recorded, which the data there will be recorded. The cout will start with username, gaming ID, age, and score. And the white person list of added is equals to string n, string m, and integer b and integer a, which means that the username will use the string n, the gaming ID also you will use the string m, the age and the score will use the integer b and integer a, because from the data that we save, the username and the gaming will contain alphabet, while the age and the score will not contain alphabet, it's only numerical. So if the size is equals to max size, for example, if we save the data over 1000 data, the cout will show record list is full. Okay, we have just seen this coding. Now I like to show the output. Okay, this is our output. As you can see, I drag it to the middle. Okay, as I said, this is the output. Welcome to Pak Karim Gaming Resort, the double line option, the double line, and that is the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 choices. For example, for this presentation, I like to choose number 1. Click enter, and you can see it will say add person. First, we start with the username, and I will enter the name Nuzul. Enter, and it will ask gaming ID. Let's enter the gaming ID. Enter again, and it will ask age, and we enter the age 32, and it will ask the score. So the score, let's just say for example 70, 76. Enter. For record 1, and this is the output for record 1, it will show the record that we save, which is username Nuzul, gaming ID, age 32, score is 76. Then we enter again. Then it will return to the main page from the start. And I would like to add another file. Click one again. Now we start with the name Iskandar. Enter. Table. Right. Enter. Age is okay. The score is right. Okay. As we see, it just added another person record. So the second time I inside the name Iskandar is will go to the record 2. We press enter again. Okay. As from the record that I saved, it showed that I have recorded two username record. Now I would like to test the option 2. Click 2, enter. Now it will show all the record that I have saved, which is record 1 and record 2. Now to the next. We like to test the third option. Third option is to search person. Okay, in search person, we have to enter the gaming ID. E09910. Enter. Okay, as the ID that I insert, it will show the username, age, and their score according to the gaming ID that I just typed. Enter. I like to show an example if we use the wrong ID, ID, for example, like we just save the two persons data. So what will happen if we search for ID that we didn't save? If you can see, I just randomly click the gaming ID, and if the gaming ID is not in the saved file, it will show not found. And the fourth is, let's try the fourth option. As you can see, the fourth option, before I explain to you, I save the data starting with Nuzul, then I go to Iskandar. When we use the fourth option, which is sort. Okay, this is the sort person by their score, and if you can see, if the person score is higher, give they will be sorted first, and the lower will be the second. And that is the choice for the number 4. And the last choice, which is the number 5, is the exit choice. If you guys click the choice of number 5, the output will be bye bye bye. And that's all from us. This is our coding, and thank you very much.